Good morning. I'm delighted to welcome you all here today to our seminar, and in particular to welcome Mariusz Hawadji, the Under-Secretary of State at the Ministry of the Economy, our moderator, our excellent guest panellists, and our guest speaker from the UK, David Frost, who has agreed to step in at short notice because our minister had to be in the UK last night for a crucial parliamentary vote. The Minister and David will set out Polish and British views on key single market issues, but what I would like very briefly to do is set out the wider context. Both our countries have a shared interest in seeing the Eurozone crisis resolved. Both of us export a great deal to the Eurozone, and moreover, instability in Europe clearly affects the wider global economy and therefore all of us. However, it would also be naive to believe that simply dealing with the Eurozone crisis will resolve the problem of resuming a growth path in Europe. There is a bigger and equally important challenge. A fundamental shift in the global balance of economic power is underway, from west to east and from north to south. This is about competitiveness. Other countries are making what we make, sometimes cheaper and better. Other countries are innovating ideas for what we don't make but could. The Commission's excellent 2012 annual growth survey notes that overall EU performance is weaker than key competitors and that sadly the productivity gap is widening. In the UK view, in a highly competitive global economy, Europe needs to respond internally by completing the single market and digital single market, by ensuring that EU regulation is smart and does not impose unnecessary burdens on growth-creating businesses. Europe needs to innovate, not least in the low-carbon sphere. There is a reason why so many overseas businesses do their R&D in the UK. It's because we're good at it. We also need to continue with EU energy liberalisation to help keep energy prices at competitive levels. But Europe also needs to look outwards. The opportunities in the emerging economies are huge. We need to remember that India alone has more middle-class consumers than the whole of Central Europe. That is a fabulous opportunity. Free trade agreements with countries like India and key developed economies like the US, Canada and Japan will make a huge difference to our growth prospects. All the deals on the table now could add as much as 90 billion euros to the EU's wealth, so this is definitely a prize worth having. To conclude, this is a crucial agenda of direct relevance to every British, Polish and European citizen. And I am delighted that this is yet another area where our two countries can make a shared contribution, as I know today's seminar will demonstrate. I would now like to invite the Minister to speak from the Polish perspective on the single market. Panie Ministrze.